Alright guys, let's do this. So we're looking at our foreign exchange model, and we're going to look at specifically supply and demand. Like, why do each of them shift? So like I showed you the other day, not only does one shift when we have an appreciation of a currency, they both shift. Now, like I told you, it's not necessary. On the AP test, they will specify which one they want you to shift, either the supply or the demand curve. And in fact, if they don't, on the answer sheets, they say that they accept an answer that has either demand shifting or supply shifting, as long as it's shifting the right way, or both of them. So it's not a big deal, but you do need to understand the idea and the principles of why both supply and demand are affected. So what I have set up here is two exchange rate models. Okay, one of them is for euros per dollar, so this is our market for the US dollar on this side. This is our market for the euro over here, so this is the amount of dollars per euros. So we have quantity of euros over here. So I'm going to look at one single thing happening, or the same thing happening on each of these, and we can look at how it affects both supply and demand. So in this case, I have scenarios. They all have the same thing happening, so hopefully you guys can read it. I know the first version of this video isn't going to be HD quality, so you might not be able to read it. It says if, number one on this side, if U.S. income grows slower, then since we know, let's hold on for that, I'm not doing two takes again. If U.S. income grows slower, since we're pretending like the U.S. and Europe are the only economies in the world, then that means European incomes are growing faster than American. If the U.S. has lower inflation, then Europe has higher inflation. If the U.S. has higher real interest rates, then Europe has lower real interest rates. So these three things must be true. So if any of these are true, because they're all going to cause the same thing, what's going to happen? We can start here with the value of the U.S. dollar. So is this going to cause the U.S. dollar to appreciate or to depreciate? Well, if the U.S. income grows slower, that means that Europe's economy or income is growing faster. So Europeans have more money to buy things, and that includes imports. So Europeans are going to be importing more stuff, right? That's the basic thing. So let's start off. How does that affect our models? Well, if Europe is buying more American stuff, then that means that for Europe, their imports are increasing, okay? If European imports are increasing, how are they able to buy that additional American stuff? Well, for them to buy more American stuff, they need more American dollars. So the demand for US dollars is going to increase. All right, so we have demand for the US dollar has shifted to the right. And I'm not going to make that an equilibrium point just yet, because we're going to go through this whole process. So they are demanding more US dollars. Now at the same time, how does that affect the euro when they are demanding more US dollars? Remember, and here's your key, so I might step out of the way down here in green and black. You have demand, the demand for a currency. Why do we demand a currency? I probably should have started with this in this video. We demand a currency so that we can buy foreign goods. So the reason that the demand for the dollar went up is because Europeans were buying more American stuff. Pure and simple. So we demand a currency so that we can buy the foreign goods from that country. Why do we supply a currency? The reason we supply a currency is so that we can buy the foreign currency. Okay? So in this case, Europeans are needing to buy American dollars. What are they selling in order to be able to buy those American dollars? What do they trade for those American dollars? They have to trade or sell euros. So that means that they have to increase the supply of the euro on the foreign exchange market. So Europeans are going to put more euros available on the foreign exchange market so that they can buy more American dollars. So we have the demand for the dollar has increased, and at the same time, as a direct result of that, these two things happen simultaneously. It's not a cause and effect, they happen together. When they buy more American dollars, they therefore must supply more euros so that they can buy that greater amount of US dollar. Okay, so far, hopefully we're good on that. Now, what else is happening here? Because this isn't the only thing. If U.S. income is growing slower, that also means not only do Europeans have more money, it means we have less money. So we have less money for imports. If we have less money for imports, that means we are not going to buy as many European things. If we aren't buying as many European things, do we need as many euros? And hopefully you're with me now and seeing the logic is pretty clear here. If we don't need to buy as many European things, we do not need as many euros. So what's going to happen on our market for euros? Well, the demand is going to decrease. Okay? So we'll see here, demand is decreasing, so we have D1 and now D2. Again, the same as anything else. And now at this point, so again, this is all happening simultaneously, not a cause and effect. So this is not a point 1, 2, and 3 kind of situation. This is XR2. So what has happened to the euro as a result of this? The euro has depreciated based on this scenario of European income growing faster, higher inflation, and lower interest rates has caused the euro, I should say, to depreciate. If Americans are demanding fewer euros, how does that affect the market for the US dollar? Again, I'm hoping that you're with me on this. Since we aren't buying as many euros, we do not need to supply as many dollars. The reason that we supply a currency is so that we can buy the foreign currency. If we aren't buying as many euros, we don't need to supply as many dollars. So supply is going to shift to the left, the S1 and S2. We have our new point of equilibrium here. Stand with my back to you for a second here. XR2. And so what we see is an appreciation of the dollar. Simultaneously, we see a depreciation of the euro. We could do this backwards, and it would, if we change these things, it would just be flipping it around. But that's the basic lesson. So hopefully that makes sense. Watch this video again. I hope that it will help. All right, see you guys.